Alright everybody, welcome back. It's Jeffrey Zeiser with The Slow Ascent. Today we're doing something new. We're going to break out an old book. This book's called Modern Joseki and Fuseki. There's two volumes. There's Parallel Fuseki and Diagonal Fuseki. It's by one of my favorites who translated a bunch of books about 60 years ago, Sakata Eo. He's a great fighter. This book's from the 70s. Now, what are we doing here? Well, as I broke through 10Q, I came to the realization that nobody's studying Fuseki. Not systematically. Now, I'm sad. I'd show you if I had it, but I didn't actually buy it last time. I really wish I had the Kihon Fuseki Jiten, the Encyclopedia of Fundamental Fuseki. I actually read it at the Japanese library when I was in Japan last year. But I didn't buy it yet. I'll probably end up buying it this year or something. But we'll work our way through this. I wasn't sure I'd like this, to be honest. When I first had it, studying it didn't really click. And then I was watching the 81st Honimbo, and I noticed something. And we'll just put some stones here for the bottom. He played a nice old school Fuseki here. Now, I love the 3-4. The Komoku is one of my favorite. But I've been translating some subtitles for those, thinking about them, studying Joseki, and I was reading a book called Direction of Play, and I realized when I first studied, I thought the whole point of these is getting enclosures. Like, that's it. If you can enclose them, you win. It's very powerful. But I realized this formation, that is to say, a closed, you're black, you have a closed Komoku, right? You did your Shimari, and then an open one. This opens up the whole point of the Komoku point. That is to say, pincers. Oh, so the point of the Komoku, if you have the Joseki book I used in the last video, I'll show it really quick. Here we go. One half of this book, there's two books in the series. One half, and I'm pretty sure it's this one, half of the encyclopedia is just Komoku. And in that half, 90% are pincers. Again, if you're doing, let's pick this one, right? The low approach, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pincer variations. Ooh. And even nowadays, with AI, for the high, they're developing multiple pincers for this too. So, okay. The whole point of the Komoku is a pincer. Oh. And in the Honimbo game, he played a two-space high pincer, and he won. It was pretty cool. I think this was that. I don't remember what this was. This was a star. There we go. So this was match 3. Beautiful. So seeing that inspired me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn one real Fuseki, finally. Because I like the Komoku. I'm going to start playing Komoku again. I wasn't even playing it very often. And this brought me back to trying Komoku, playing the Joseki within the framework of a good Fuseki. And I had a breakthrough in the last couple months, where in even games, I've really started to see Fuseki clearly. Before I could not see it. I'm going to be honest with you. So first 2 years of my play, everybody, I had no idea. So if that's you, no judgment. For me, it didn't work until it worked. Okay, so this whole book is explaining this principle. Like, how do you set up Fuseki? And again, it's from 60 years ago, so they did a lot of Komoku, but let's be honest, everybody, if you watch pro games, you still do a lot of Komoku. Now, a kind of theory thing in Western play, in my experience, you get a lot of this. Right? You get a lot of parallel star Fuseki. Now, why? Is it because it's good or because it's simple? I think it's simple. That's why people pick it. You can learn, there's relatively few variations, and you can learn it. I think that's why. Now, the trouble, personally, I just didn't like it. I couldn't have told you why a year and a half ago. My personal reason I don't like it is you don't have a strategy. Because, so for example, this white stone here, he is looking for either side, right? That's what he wants to develop. And this white stone wants to develop either side, and right, the same for the black stones. They also would like to develop here or here, or here or here. But there's no, it's a very fluid strategy, but it's a wait and see strategy. There's no active strategy. And I think for my brain, for Fuseki, like I'd always rather have this. Let's say I'm black. Like that already, I'm already more happy. This, by the way, is a Takamoku, right? The 4-5. Because at least I got to pick. Do you see how, like, personally I like that in the Fuseki? It feels like I'm choosing, and I tend to have better games when I do that, personally. So this is the reason to study it, right? Like, it does give you more agency, not just reaction. Now, again, of course, a couple notes, right? If you're white, 2 star points might be the best, because you're reacting. There goes one. Bye, guy. I got him. So keep that in mind, too. So we're going to intro the book. Even rereading this recently, there's some stuff where my brain just finally saw it. Okay, so let's set up with one of the theories he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so first things first, right? If black plays Komoku, the cool part with this, the matching enclosure Fuseki, white can't stop you. The only way white can stop you, I'll show you. There's even examples later in the book that I'll show you at some point. If you don't want to play Enclosure, that's how white stops it. And then you see that? White stopped it, everybody. So, and you're like, Jeff, is that a joke? It's not a joke. I'll go through the game later. Sakata Eo, when he explains this point, the Takamoku, he shows how he just had a game where he just uses it to prevent black from doing Enclosure. It must have been an opponent he studied, right? He studied the guy and understood the guy loves Enclosure Fuseki, so he's trying to stop him. Once you start to see this, you start to see like, wow, okay, the beginning of the game could be really exciting. And personally, I'll say, just to be honest with you all, beginning of the games where I'm doing my best. So I'm leaning into the thing I like the most. 4, 5. Okay, a couple notes that he makes. These could be this Akomoku on either side. 3-3 used to be really popular. We'll talk about 3-3 at some point. It's still, I like it as white. Funny enough, 3-3 is the one I play, is if somehow black gives me, or if I'm white, if I'm black, and white gives me an extra corner for some reason, like he attacks a corner early, I like to play the 3-3 in an empty corner for my third corner. Just a personal preference. I don't know if it's any good. But yeah, you could do either of the Komokus as well. Okay. Now we already talked about the point of this setup is to pincer white stone he approaches here. Because really this is too much, as he points out. In theory, if you let black close 2 corners, like let's say we have this and white just closes immediately, black takes, too much. You're behind by a stone, right? You've now given black 3 points. It's not severe enough. As he says in the book, I love it so much, it's passive. Now in the old days, like they used to, like before the modern period, they used to think this was bad, right? Because you're giving black a free double purpose move, don't play it. He says in modern Go, it's not that. Pros play it, don't worry about it. There was also ideas of making your Shimari bigger, right? You could play an Ogema, black protects his corner, you get a 2-space extension, he hits you. Again, this has the same problem with passivity. Not great. Okay, so he thinks this is just fine. Now to make it way more interesting, he'll give us the demonstration of this too. The arrangement of these stones depends what makes your kakari good, right? Your attack. Now in Western play, hi everybody, you're Westerner probably. Almost everybody plays the high approach almost all the time. Personally, I'm become bored of it. However, instead of getting mad, I find ways to defeat it. So what he says in here is generally if this is the formation, right, the 1 space high, this is better. and we'll go over that later. But if it's a one space low, you can get away with this one just fine. He'll give us the logic. Okay, and obviously it says do not tanuki. If you're curious why you shouldn't, let's give an example. You play away 1, 2. Oh, let's say he pincered you. He pincered you and you tanuki. Oh, don't do that. 2, 3, 4, 5. You basically induced black to have a giant moyo. It's probably not a great idea. So don't tanuki is his first advice. Now let's see that difference. I was studying this last week and it just made me so happy to see it. Okay, so why wouldn't you do this pincer with that high shimari? Okay, so you get this. So let's see. Then you go 1, and everybody should recognize the version of just Fuseki. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and there should be a pincer, excuse me, everybody. Yes. 6. Oop, 6. 7. 8. Oh, wrong color again. 8. There we go. So, generally speaking, when you get pincered as white, you want to settle. This is basically settle. As we talked about, right, white now has 2 miai moves. If black goes here, white goes there. Or if black goes here, white's out. Of course, black will then go here. If you're seeing this double wing formation, it's painful, everybody. Double wing it hurts physically. Okay, so now why should you close your corner? As he points out, this is Sakata, he points out that you can't let him attack it. It's not worth it, right? The inverse being this, because again, if you know this formation, the weakness is anywhere under here, right here, or here, or here. But let's say you do a wide one, he then does this. You do kosumi, he does a nice, easy kosumi variation. Look at that, everybody. Yeah, black's winning. So sometimes you should thwart your enemy's aim, but you should also keep an eye on it. Now, why this variation doesn't work with the high one, let me show you. He said he'd play this with the low shimari, and here's his reasoning. This is how all the parts connect. He goes here, black comes out, because again, this stone's a little lower, he can come a little further. You then do keshi, erasing. Okay, hi everybody. So, we'll end the video here because it's a new concept for many people, but one of the things is we do Fuseki and we do the pro videos. We already talked about invading the corners already and how to deal a little bit with that from one example. The difference between erasing and invading, or sort of reduction. Keshi means erase, but reduce is probably a better word in English. This is reduction. That is to say, you're not trying to live in black's territory. Black has a double wing formation. And if you're curious, black's best move probably is something building out into the center now. I put that stone down and it feels painful. Maybe not right away, right? He might do some shenanigans first. But that's great. Now, if you're newer and if you're watching this and you're probably struggling with Fuseki, this can feel so aggressive. You like grab your eyes and go like, what am I gonna do? Well, don't worry, because the board's kind of settled, right? Think about it. You have black's gonna attack you, obviously, but you have a source of strength here. You have a settled stone in this corner, and you've got the shimari over here. This stone only has to escape one direction for it to live. Assuming it and its whole group lives, you've reduced, right? Because like if black gets a nice divot here, chases you out this way, you connect over here. Better. Personally, I'd probably try to go that way or this way, right? But you're pushing black down to get the benefit up here, right? That's the point of reduction. Now, hard for every newer player, and this is why studying Fuseki and reductions and invasions matter. Timing. When do you do it? So, to quote another book of his, we will do at some point. The time is now, because like just obviously this is better, right? But just imagine just in your mind see this, right? Obviously too loose. Nothing's going to be, nothing, this is a moyo. There's not going to be any territory. Literally anything lower, or here is better. And again, this is more powerful than it looks, because anything that white tries to do here can be pushed up against these 3 stones, which are very powerful. All right, so if you don't do anything, black's going to keep building it, right? And remember, if black attacks you in Sente and goes back and keep building it, it's even worse. So this is why you study Fuseki, these little differences, right? Suddenly this works. So you could play the Kogema, or the Kogema Shimari. You could, depends on the orientation of the stones. And again, we're in Western play, funny enough. I almost never see this. It's almost always this. So hopefully this motivates people, people watching. Learn these. Learn the Kogema variations. Now, hi everybody. I'm gonna start putting on the channel. I had a challenge about 1.5 years ago. I got tired of this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got tired of that, and I got tired of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got really tired of those. Now, funny enough, we'll talk about it later. Studying this Enclosure Joseki, the one we're doing down here, this one, there are some very fun counters to those 2 moves I just showed you. But motivating myself, one reason I'm going to go through this is you can guess some of my history. I was motivated to find other ways to attack a corner, because it's so predictable, it felt too formulaic. The good news of attacking Kogema, there's a lot of variations. Now, if you're curious and you're learning this new, of course the hardest part is black gets to pick the continuations. As we've said in the channel, right? We've already done Kosumi. We've done the 2-spacer. We've done a couple of 1-space pincer variations that we'll do a lot more, don't worry. Right, there's the small knights move we haven't done yet. But there's a lot more to it, which this is what I was talking at the beginning of the video, and it's a good place to end. You start to get directionality from your stones. That is to say, so white has more choices, black has more options. Now, of course, options do in some ways equal difficulty, but the upside of options is you get to pick more choices depending on the state of the board. Now, again, you might say, Jeff, that sounds like a lot of responsibility. Sure. The encouragement I can give you is the more variations there are, the more chances there are to make mistakes. Now, it's Go, so it's your mistakes first, right? My mistakes will hurt me. But as somebody who, one of my favorite moves recently has been this, I can guarantee you most human players are going to make a mistake when you do the 1-space low pincer. I guarantee it. So again, it's that kind of challenge to learn something to then use as a tool, right? And again, if you ever want to start using this, there's minimal variations, basically variations of this one down here, where you can learn variations to survive any pincer. Even if you're using air quotes, not optimal, right? They're non-optimal variations. They're still Joseki. You still get to practice it. You're forcing yourself out of the same pattern. Now, I'll tell you the joke, and then we'll go. I was talking with somebody this week. Like, I studied all those Joseki variations. I enjoy them. Half the time, the high approach is still the correct approach. So I just put all that effort into it, and the conclusion becomes, maybe you should just high approach, Jeff. So welcome to Go, everybody. It has that kind of way to humble you and force you to do the thing you didn't think you were going to do. So this is a little bit longer because, again, trying to start working through Fuseki. And again, this is for all of you. I hope it's helpful. It's for me too. I want to get better at verbalizing what I'm trying to do. You've seen my game records and some of my own games and the Joseki. Obviously, the process is happening, right? But I also want to share it because I don't think there's a lot of resources for Western students to start working on these fundamentals. And I think they're pretty important. And they've helped my game, so hopefully they help you all too. All right, until next time, we will work through more of these variations. Some will be with the pro games we've already started. I'll do some other new ones. There's even a couple new and old pro games where I've just seen Fuseki variations that are interesting, and I'll bring some of those in too. Again, it's just time. I study a lot, it's just the time to make the videos. So, alright, until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. Until the next move, this is your host, Jeff. I'll see you all then.